A woman holding a baby casts her vote in Dublin. Niall Carson, PA, votes continue to be cast in Ireland's abortion referendum amid reports of strong turnout numbers in many parts of the country. Polls close at 10 p.m., with 6,500 voting centres across the state likely to witness the traditional evening surge in people arriving to vote after work. Earlier, Ireland's president and political leaders cast their ballots in the referendum on whether to liberalise the country's strict abortion laws. Thousands of Irish citizens living overseas have travelled home in droves to exercise their democratic right on the emotive issue. Polls for the historic vote opened across the country at 7 a.m., with citizens effectively opting to either retain or repeal the Eighth Amendment of the state's constitution, which prohibits terminations unless a mother's life is in danger. Counting will begin on Saturday morning, with the result expected later that day. A number of exit polls are due to be released on Friday night. Specific question people are being asked is whether they want to see the Eighth Amendment replaced with wording in the Constitution that would hand politicians the responsibility to set future laws on abortion, unhindered by constitutional strictures. President Michael D. Higgins and his wife Sabina cast their votes at the polling station in St. Mary's Hospital, Phoenix Park, Dublin. Niall Carson, PA, if the public votes yes, the Irish government intends to legislate by the end of the year to make it relatively easy for a woman to obtain the procedure in early pregnancy. Ministers have promised to allow terminations within the first 12 weeks, subject to medical advice and a cooling-off period, and between 12 and 24 weeks in exceptional circumstances. President Michael D. Higgins and his wife Sabina cast their votes in Dublin on Friday morning. Around 2 hours later, Taoiseach Leo Varadkar, a vocal advocate for repeal, voted in the city. "I always get a little buzz from voting, it just feels like it is democracy in action," Mr. Varadkar said after emerging from the polling station at Castleknock. "One of the great strengths of Bunreach na Éireann is its capacity for change through the will of the people. I have just voted to bring about a more compassionate and humane response for women in crisis pregnancies. Obviously, I would be encouraging everyone to come out and vote. A high turnout would be to the advantage of the Yes campaign." He urged voters not to be distracted by the sunny weather and exercise their democratic right. Leader of the main opposition party, Fianna Fáil's Michael Martin, voted to repeal in his constituency in Cork, while Sinn Féin President Mary Lou McDonald also cast a yes vote in Dublin. Sinn Féin leader Mary Lou McDonald presents her identity documents at St. Joseph's School, Dublin. Niall Carson, PA, however, her Sinn Féin party colleague and vocal anti-abortion campaigner Peter Toibin called on Irish people to vote no to abortion on demand. "The irony that the referendum on abortion is being held on International Missing Children's Day will not be lost on many Irish people," he tweeted. "Those on the margins of society suffer most from abortion. Vote no to abortion on demand. The irony that the referendum on abortion is being held on International Missing Children's Day will not be lost on many Irish people. Those on the margins of society suffer most from abortion. Vote no to abortion on demand." pic.twitter.com/nec43doffn, Peter Toibin, at Toibin1, May 25, 2018. A total of 3.3 million citizens are registered to vote, with 6,500 polling stations open across the country. The Catholic Church is among influential voices arguing that the life of the unborn should be sacrosanct, but the Retain campaign faces a major challenge from a Yes camp which has portrayed itself as modernizing and in step with international opinion. The debate during 8 weeks of campaigning has been divisive, with the leaders of all the main political parties, including Fine Gael leader Mr. Varadkar, backing change. They argued that a yes vote represented the compassionate choice for thousands of Irish women forced to travel to England for the procedure. Opposing them was a vocal no camp, including the bishops, which insisted the life of the child is sacrosanct and interference in that right is immoral. Marie O'Donnell casts her vote at Scoil Mawirgon small polling station, Lifford, Co Donegal. Liam McBurney, PA. Campaigners against change have used emotive language to highlight the threat to the fetus and warned against extreme proposals from the government which could be expanded in future years. Opinion polls have been tight, with most showing the yes side in the lead. The indication is that rural voters are more likely to say no than their urban counterparts, while a significant number of don't knows have cast a degree of uncertainty over the outcome. Around 2,000 voters in 12 islands off the mainland were eligible to vote on Thursday to prevent any delay in counting their ballot papers. Garda Alan Gallagher and presiding officer Carmel McBride carry a polling box, used a day early, by the few people that live off the coast of Donegal on the island of Inishbofin, to vote in the referendum. Clodagh Kilcoyne, PA. The Eighth Amendment is a clause in the Constitution which was written after a previous referendum on the issue in 1983 recognized the right to life of the unborn child. It protects the equal right to life of the mother and the unborn and effectively prohibits abortion in most cases. In 1992, women were officially given the right to travel abroad, mostly to the UK, to obtain terminations. Pro-repeal campaigners said almost 170,000 have done so. The liberalisation campaign gathered momentum after an Indian dentist, Savita Halappanavar, died in hospital in Galway aged 31 when she was refused an abortion during a miscarriage. People pass a mural of Savita Halappanavar in Dublin. Niall Carson, PA. Her husband, Praveen Halappanavar, said she repeatedly asked for it termination but was refused because there was a fetal heartbeat. In 2013, legislation was amended to allow terminations under certain tightly restricted circumstances, the Protection of Life During Pregnancy Act. When doctors felt a woman's life was at risk due to complications from the pregnancy, or from suicide, they were permitted to carry out an abortion. Under pressure from the UN about alleged degrading treatment of women who travelled to England for terminations, the Irish government began exploring the possibility of further reform, culminating in the calling of this referendum and the promise to legislate.